The two sides have reaffirmed their commitment to complete projects like CASA 1000, which will open new avenues for future energy corridors. Pakistan also expressed support for Tajikistan's membership of Quadrilateral Traffic in Transit Agreement. As our closest neighbor in Central Asia, Tajikistan is an important partner for Pakistan. We believe that the ongoing visit of President Ramwan to Pakistan and the Prime Minister of Pakistan's visit to Dushanbe next year will advance cooperation and understanding between our two countries. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is currently in New York to attend the ministerial conference of the G77 in China on 15-16 December 2022. The agenda of the conference includes discussion on challenges being faced by developing countries in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals in face of COVID-19 pandemic, climate-induced disasters, and geopolitical developments. Yesterday, the Foreign Minister participated in a high-level debate at the UN Security Council on reformed multilateralism. In his address, the Foreign Minister reiterated Pakistan's commitment to multilateralism and the UN Charter. He called for a comprehensive reform of the United Nations and its different organs, as well as democratization of the global financial and economic institutions. The Foreign Minister stressed the importance of a plan for emergency actions and systemic reforms in the international financial and technology architecture. He also presented a concrete plan of action for reviving effective multilateralism and underscored that reform of the Security Council must be decided by consensus and should improve democratization of the Council. The Foreign Minister also had important meetings with UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed and President of the UN General Assembly Saba Karossi yesterday. During the meeting, he briefed them about Pakistan's relief and recovery efforts in the wake of recent floods in Pakistan. This morning, Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari held a meeting with British Minister of State for South Asia and Commonwealth at FCDO, Lord Tariq Ahmed, where matters of bilateral and regional cooperation were discussed. Today, the Foreign Minister will meet the UN Secretary General to marshal international support for Pakistan's long-term recovery, rehabilitation and restoration plan based on the post-disaster needs assessment. As you all know, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, His Excellency Mr. Hussein Brahim Taha, visited Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir on his first country visit from 10 to 12 December 2022. During the visit, the Secretary General called on the Prime Minister of Pakistan and held delegation-level meeting with Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. He also visited Azad Jammu and Kashmir, where he met with the President and Prime Minister of AJK. He visited the line of control in Kashmir and met with victims of cross-LOC shelling, who shared details of their suffering in an interactive session. The Secretary General shared his initial impressions about the situation in IIOJK in a joint media briefing with the Foreign Minister. He reaffirmed OIC's commitment and solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir and to their right to self-determination in accordance with relevant UN Security Council resolutions. Secretary General's visit to Azad Jammu and Kashmir comes 3 years after India's illegal and unilateral actions in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The visit also marks implementation of a comprehensive action plan on IIOJK agreed by OIC at the 48th CFM held in Islamabad last March. The Secretary General will share his finding at the next CFM. You would recall that last week, Foreign Minister was in Indonesia and Singapore from 6 to 9 December 2022. We have already briefed you on the Indonesia visit. During the Singapore visit, Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari held a meeting with Foreign Minister, His Excellency Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, and called on Her Excellency President Halima Yaqub. The two sides reiterated their commitment to advance bilateral dialogue and expand cooperation in education, digital economy, trade, and development. Pakistan's engagement and cooperation with ASEAN and regional and global issues of common interest, including climate change, were discussed at length. An important outcome of Foreign Minister's visit was the launch of STARS program by Meta, Facebook, for monetization in Pakistan. We believe this will contribute to capacity building of young entrepreneurs and serve as a valuable tool for Pakistan's growing number of meta content developers. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is the first foreign minister in 12 years to undertake an official visit to Singapore. Pakistan will continue to strengthen its dialogue and cooperation with Singapore bilaterally and within the context of ASEAN. Among upcoming activities, I would like to share with you that the International Conference on Climate Resilient Pakistan will be held in Geneva on 9th January 2023. The Prime Minister of Pakistan and United Nations Secretary General will co-chair the conference. Pakistan will present the Reconstruction, Rehabilitation, Recovery and Resilience Framework at the conference. This 4RF document is based on Post-Disaster Needs Assessment launched on 28th October 2022, which estimated flood damages to exceed $14.9 billion, economic losses over $15.2 billion, and reconstruction needs over $16 billion. The conference will engage the international community to mobilize support towards building back better after the devastating floods. It will also be an opportunity to hold an informed dialogue on climate adaptation and resilience and to discuss supportive arrangements for the recovery processes. The Prime Minister of Pakistan and UN Secretary General have jointly addressed an invitation letter to donor countries, international financial institutions, and other development partners for this conference. Yesterday, you had followed the press conference by Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Hina Rabbani Khar, wherein she briefed on state terrorism against Pakistan, planned, conducted, and funded by India. A comprehensive dossier in this context has been developed by Pakistan, highlighting India's involvement in a deadly terrorist attack that took place on 21st June 2021 in a peaceful neighborhood of Johar town in Lahore. In the Lahore terrorist attack, 3 civilians lost their lives and over 24 critically injured. Investigation by our law enforcement agencies with the support of international counterparts have found concrete evidence that masterminds, financiers, and facilitators of Lahore terrorist attack were Indian nationals and are located in India. Indian agencies recruited terrorists for this attack, trained them, provided them with finances and logistic support. Pakistan has initiated international legal proceedings, including with Interpol and mutual legal assistance processes to bring those responsible to justice. Substantiated by forensic evidence, these findings have been documented in a dossier which was shared yesterday by Foreign Secretary Dr. Asad Majid Khan with members of the diplomatic community. You may have seen the statement by Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on the occasion of the International Human Rights Day on 10th December 2022, in which he called upon the international community to bring an end to the suppression of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and the violation of their human rights. The International Human Rights Day commemorates the adoption of Universal Declaration on Human Rights on 10th December 1948. It was the same year when India brought the Jammu and Kashmir dispute to the United Nations Security Council. Since then, this issue has been on the agenda of the UN Security Council, which has adopted several resolutions recognizing the right of self-determination of the people of Kashmir. Notwithstanding these stipulations in UNSC resolutions, 70 years later, the oppressed people of IIOJK remain deprived of their freedom, rights, and dignity. Kashmiris live in a state of siege, caught amidst a dense web of Indian soldiers, checkpoints, barbed wires, bunkers, military convoys, drones, armored vehicles, garrisons, secret prisons, and military bases.
तर्जुमान दफ्तर खारिजा मुमताज़ ज़हरा बलोच इस्लामाबाद में हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग दे रही थी। उन्होंने कहा कि वज़ीर खारिजा आलमी सतह पर पाकिस्तान में होने वाली तबाहकारियों से आगाही के लिए अपने किरदार को अदा कर रहे हैं।